What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so in this one here, we're going to be taking a look at Corvus's new uniform. So here we have his dark obsidian armor to go along with the other Black Order. Yeah, so again, I just really like the looks of these uniforms here because of the color kind of palette that it has, and also just the armor itself looks really cool. So yeah, Corvus looking pretty nice here. So let's see what this uniform is going to do for him. So it's going to enhance the effects of Dark Immunity, or Immunity Immortality, which is his tier 2 passive, and then he's going to get 20% increase to physical attack and increased damage dealt to superheroes by 30%. Alright, so his tier 2 passive is now going to have guaranteed dodge by 25%, guaranteed crit 25%, and 25% skill damage, 15% bonus damage. So we got a little bit of everything there, a little bit of survivability, and then mostly extra damage, which is really nice. Our first skill is just a stun, second skill, silence, third skill, so we got some bleed, paralysis, ignores immunity. We got all defense down to stacks up to minus 50%, so same as Supergiant. And then we have a heal here, so this is kind of like Jean's heal, isn't it? Recovers HP equal to 10% of damage dealt to the target. Never mind. So it's like life steal kind of thing. That's pretty nice. Cannot recover more than 10% of max HP and reactivate every 0.3 seconds. So I'm guessing for a single attack you can't get more than 10% of your max HP, but that will reset after 0.3 seconds. So he should be healing quite a bit when he has this active for that 5 seconds there. So that could be pretty nice. Guard hit is 8 hits on 5 seconds, so pretty nice. So a lot of survivability from the third skill here. Fourth skill, we get some super armor, get 5% all defense. Not sure why they just put in those small stat bumps there, like the 1% all speed and then 5% all defense. I don't know, that just seems a little pointless. It seems like they just want to fill in some more text here. But either way, we have a little bit of all defense, and that super armor is going to be the main draw to the fourth skill here. That looks pretty nice. And then we have increased damage dealt by 70% for one attack. Very nice. And this is actually going to be the skill that you want to proc on, so you don't have to worry about transferring over that 70%. You can just use the skill and be done. And then we have the fifth skill, which is Invincibility for 6 seconds. That's really nice. 6 seconds. 55% all attack for 10 seconds. He has really long durations on some of these buffs. 10 seconds there. Those ones for 5 seconds, but the all defense down is also for 10 seconds, which is really high. So yeah, he's got a lot of nice things going on here. And all of his skills, 16-second cooldown, 14 seconds, 14 seconds. He looks to be very damage proc friendly too with the skill cooldowns. That's usually what I like to look for, is what the skill cooldowns are. And what the... Oh, you could probably definitely hear that because it's really loud and annoying. My neighbor, for some reason, he washes his car and he uses a leaf blower to dry it, and it is the most annoying thing ever. Let me close my window here. Alright, well, hopefully you can't really hear that. I wasn't really expecting him to just start that thing up right now. Sorry for the interruption. Let's continue with the review here. Let's hop into the skill preview and see what his new skills look like. So, got the first skill here. Kind of swings around his glaive a little bit, slashing at the ground with an uppercut. Second skill, he jumps up in the air and does the kind of blast. That was his... Oh, that's his previous second skill as well, right? Where he just doesn't do like the twirl around them. He kind of just does a beam up in the air now. Just nice. It has an iframe if you need that. The third skill does a few stabs with the glaive, and then we got those kind of clones coming in, or the after images of Corvus there. The after images are what applies the all defense down, it looks like. Yeah, the after image and when he dashes forward with the glaive is when you get the all defense down. You're not going to have to really worry too much about needing to stack this up because it's minus 10% on each hit, so it's going to stack up pretty much immediately. And then we have the fourth skill. Goes into an iframe and then just starts slicing away. Well, he goes out of the iframe, but goes in for a second and then he starts slicing around. And that's not going to be an issue that he goes out of the iframe, because we're going to have super armor from the fourth skill, and then we're going to have invincibility from the fifth skill. So you should be really well protected while doing that skill. And then the fifth skill gets his invincibility, and then he just kind of slams the glaive on the ground, and then you have those kind of after images or clones there come out and just keep kind of radiating pulses of energy, which is really cool looking. So yeah, all the skill animations for pretty much all the Black Order so far have been really cool, so I'm definitely loving the look of the Black Order here with these new Obsidian armor and the skill animations. So hopefully they're going to be playing really well when I start using... Oh, I just noticed right now, surprisingly, he changed typings. He's speed type now. Interesting. So he went from universal to speed type. Did any of the other ones change and I just completely missed that? I'm gonna feel pretty dumb if I did. But yeah, he changed the speed type. I wasn't even thinking about them changing typings because I figured they'd all just stay universal. But okay, so Corvus is now speed type. That could actually be pretty useful. Speed villain. We definitely don't have very many good speed villains. I mean, do we have any good speed villains? I'm having a hard time even thinking of some, except for like Doc Ock. So yeah, we don't. Oh no, Gwenum. Gwenum's a really good speed villain. But Corvus here looks like he might be taken over if you're using a speed villain anywhere. He probably is going to be the new king there. So yeah, let's see what we can do with the skill rotation here. You can cancel the 5th skill, so you're definitely going to want to just do this and then go right into 4, and I think that's how you're going to want to get the most damage. Just do 5 into 4. You need to wait a little while because you can't just like direct cancel it. You have to delay the cancel a little bit. I think once he slams the glaive on the ground, is that... Yeah, so literally as soon as you see that glaive touch the ground, you can cancel into the 4th skill if you want to be as quick as possible, just to try to make sure you don't, you know, proc too early or something like that, because he does look like he's going to be damage proc friendly, so you can definitely get away with that. Of course, for the most damage, you're going to want to go with the CTP over Rage because he doesn't have Elemental, so you can't use Judgment on him. The 3rd skill, though, has the all defense down, so we definitely want to be able to use the 3rd skill. And I feel like he's going to be a character where you kind of like not stagger your rotation, but he's going to require a 1-turn setup to start getting the most damage out of him. We have a few characters like that where you just can't quite throw in the skill with the all defense down, so you have to kind of put it out of rotation. So you're probably going to either, depending on how you want to do it, either start with the 3rd skill, get the all defense down, it lasts for 10 seconds, and then just wait for your damage proc to come back around, and then do 5-4. But you probably just want to do it the other way around. Just start the fight with 5-4, so you proc at the beginning and get your damage right here. Let the skill play out. Boom, boom. And then go right into the 3rd skill, get that all defense down. And since it is 10 seconds, you should have plenty of time, kite around a little bit, and then go back into 5-4. And you should be able to then get your big damage or the most damage from Corvus. For the Awakening skill, you're probably just going to do the 6 or the Awakening skill in place of the 4th skill, unless let's see what the Awakening skill looks like, and then is it going to be something you want to cancel? So it's the same, pretty much the same animation as the other Awakening skills. All right, we got Thanos up there at the top. So do we want to cancel that? Let's see what happens. So we just don't want to cancel too early. We need to wait for that kind of pool to appear. Let's wait for that pool to appear. There we go. Now cancel. We have them coming in. Yeah, the animation takes a little bit of time to wind up, so I wonder if we want to... all right, so Awakening skill, does it have all defense down on? Let me see real quick. It should, right? Yeah, minus 65% all defense down. So you're going to want to wait for your all defense down to expire from the 3rd skill. And then you're going to want to do Awakening skill. And then we could go into the 5th skill and then go into the 4th skill. Yeah, that's probably how you want to do it. Awakening skill, 5th skill, 4th skill. That looks like that could get you the most damage. The Awakening skill animation is so long, though, that you kind of want to wait a little bit before you even use the 5th skill. So you get your puddle, there's no hits, wait for him to walk forward, and then maybe just do the 5-4. So once he walks close enough to the enemy right before he starts doing his attacks, I think that's when you want to cancel into 5-4. Could be wrong on that. Like I said, I'm just looking up in the skill preview here, so I definitely haven't had any experience playing him quite yet. So let's go ahead and get this uniform, because like I said, I'm going to be getting all of the Black Order uniforms just because they look really nice. So I'm pretty excited to actually start playing with the Black Order again. I have done a little bit, but not much work on Corvus. He is level 70, and that's pretty much the extent of my work here. I've got a CTP of Transcendence on him. I was using him quite a bit in Shadowland, just I really liked playing him, and he had good survivability, but I just was looking for characters to put Transcendence on, so that's kind of how he got this CTP. I wasn't really saying that he was good with Transcendence before, but it was just a place for me to put this since I have a ton of CTPs of Transcendence. So I'm going to need to work on Corvus a little bit here. He's kind of outdated on the gear that I have on him. And I don't even think, yeah, he doesn't even have max cooldown, which actually I just realized I didn't have max skill cooldown when I did my videos on Proxima and Supergiant. So I don't know if that was really messing up the skill rotations at all, but it could have been, because I think I was at only 45% skill cooldown for them, so I needed like an extra 5%. But anyway, let's go ahead, and we have no proc here, so let's just see what kind of damage he does with this current setup. I will probably be revamping him, so I'll do an additional video on him once I give him probably like a damage proc or something like that. I might just give him a CTP of destruction if I'm being honest, because I have a ton of CTPs of destruction that I just don't have on anybody, and I don't really know who I want to put him on, so that might be what he gets. But anyway, let's just see what he does with a CTP of transcendence. Alright, so here we are over Proxima, because he is, of course, physical damage based. Just going to be taking him in against stage 50, because that's pretty much where I always take characters in when I'm first trying them out at stage 50. That you may not be able to beat stage 50 or do well there. It's just that's the stage I usually always take characters in against, so it gives me a better idea when comparing them and stuff to each other. So we don't have any, yeah, so no all defense down strikers. That's good. I don't want any of those because he has his own all defense down. So let's just see what Corvus can do here. And since I don't have a damage proc on him, I can just open with the third skill to get the all defense down and then go into the 5-4. But of course, that's not what you're going on to do if you have a damage proc on him. If you have a CTP of rage, you could probably do that depending on the duration of the skill animations. That was a lot of damage that we just took there at the start. Oh, so that was a lot of damage we dished out, and then we just kind of recovered all our health back. Oh, we're stunned. We recovered all of our health back because of the lifesteal, but then we got time frozen and we got wrecked. His survivability doesn't seem too great. I mean, he's still got the revive, of course. I want to go into this. We have no iframe on that skill, right? Yeah, no iframe on that. So I probably want to hold off on that, so we're going to do the first skill, then I'm going to do the second skill for the iframe, then go into the third skill, hit the guard hit. Oh, I thought I hit the fifth skill, but I didn't. But look at this damage with just a regular CTP of Transcendence. No damage proc, and he's wrecking this stage. He's doing a lot better than I thought he was going to do. His damage is looking really, really good. I mean, even with his old uniform, considering how old he is as a character and how long ago that uniform came out, and kind of uniform didn't really buff much for him, he still had pretty good damage, like all things considered, with that uniform. So Corvus just seems to have like pretty high damage in general, and now with this uniform he's looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, this damage is impressing me, so that's making me want to transcend him. But I'm gonna transcend Supergiant first, because I already said I wanted to kind of play around Supergiant a little bit more, because of course it's her first uniform. We haven't really, or she hasn't had much of a presence in the game for a while now, so I kind of just want to play Supergiant. But it's looking like Corvus might be one of the best awakening characters of this update, because this damage is really good, like I said, even without a damage proc. So I'm curious to see how Corvus is going to do when I give him a damage proc. Well, actually, to be fair, when I tested Supergiant, she was only at level 60. So Corvus here is level 70, so he does have that advantage. But anyway, Corvus is looking really good, so I definitely think this uniform is probably going to be a really good pickup. It changes him to speed type. Like I said, that can be very valuable speed villain. He does seem pretty squishy with it. I don't know if that's from the type changing or what, but I don't really remember him being this squishy. But again, I haven't used him in such a long time in Woboss Ultimate. I mainly just use him in Shadowland, and in Shadowland he has all the survivability I need, just because he's got iframes, he got the paralyze, he used to summon the clones with this old uniform, so he had great survivability with that. Don't have the clones on this, which is good. I don't like it when they have clones, because then the boss just targets the clones. They can get too far away from you, can interrupt your skills and all of that. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is I like this uniform for Corvus. I think it's a very, very big upgrade, and it looks like he might be one of the highest DPSs of this update. I'll have to take a look at Cole. He's the last one on the list, so Cole will be the next and final video for the 4 uniforms, so stay tuned for that. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.